I love it. All right, so we'll bring this down. Hi. Hi, Sasha. How are you?
Oh my God. Hi, y'all. I hear my song in the background. That's
yes. We always gotta say good sounds. Definitely. Welcome. Oh my gosh, beautiful smile.
Yes.
I love it.
She has such a big, beautiful smile.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you
so
guys.
much. You're
So
welcome.
how are you doing?
I'm doing good, you know, out here hustling, trying to make things happen right now. It's been a crazy year. So my focus has just been to stay positive and keep creating and collaborating with other people. Of course. What about you guys?
Oh my gosh.
Just surviving and thriving.
That's working hard, hustling. I think all the above. Yeah. It's like it's all the above.
Trying to stay sane.
Yep. Balance everything.
Yeah. Trying to stay sane.
So, all right. So I know people are pouring in. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah. This is another Thursday, as Danielle said, another episode of our favorite segment of Indie Talks, where I am just one of your hosts, Aasha Lewis-Redway, and I'm my beautiful host, Danielle. So, guys, you already know what the deal is. We, every week, sit down with the finest of artists in our very own backyard. So, please, tonight, we have the beautiful BK's finest pop sensation, Sasha Prendes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So for those who may not know you, just give us like a little bit of like who you are. Who is Sasha Prendes?
Sasha Prendes is a lovesick songwriter.
Okay. Ooh.
That's really my whole goal in life is to sing and share my stories and be as authentic as possible, because music is what has gotten me through some of the craziest times of my life, and I want to be there for other people as well. And you know, God gives us talents and gifts and abilities, and we got to use them to do good. But my name is Sasha, and I actually grew up in Kansas.
Oh, Kansas.
My parents are from Cuba, so I was actually born in Jersey, but grew up most of my life in the Midwest. And came to Brooklyn, and my whole life changed.
Okay.
All right. So, you definitely talked about the areas that you've been in, the Midwest, and you also said that you have a Cuban background. Talk about, so with everything that's going on, we know 2020 has been
a trying time.
Yeah.
With you having that background, like how important is that for your representation, especially within your music as well?
I think it's so important. I think it's so cool because everybody always wants people to like pick a side, pick a color, and I'm over here like, but I'm both. You know, like I'm Latina and I'm American. Like I'm from the Midwest, but I'm also super Brooklyn. And they're just these things about me that are not just one thing.
Yeah.
And so important for everyone to just kind of like rep who they are. Like we're all a big melting pot of different cultures and backgrounds. So I think it's cool that I can rep, like, I'm just a chick from Kansas that wrote songs on her bedroom floor, but I'm also a Latina, and I understand the challenges that my family went through and many other families go through, you know, when escaping oppression and communism and all types of, you know, negative lifestyles to come for a better life. So yeah, I love that. I love having this rich history, and I feel like I can really embrace all of that in my music, you know?
Amazing.
So like take us to like the beginning. Like how did you know that you wanted to get into singing and being a songwriter and have like a whole career in music?
I blame Disney sing-along.
Don't we all been there?
You know, like the cat Siamese song, and they have the little bubble like birds. Like that is literally what taught me how to sing and how to like read and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. I've been singing since I was a peanut, like since I was a little like baby singing. I was singing before I was talking. And then I went through this phase for years where I was like super insecure and didn't think I was enough. And so I never sang for anyone. It's so funny how like now I do music full time, and you know, 5 years ago, if someone were to be like, "Hey, Sasha, just sing right now," I wouldn't have been able to do it. I wouldn't.
Wow.
I used to not even sing for my parents. Like I was so private about my songs and my stories just because I felt like, you know, I wasn't a Broadway singer. I didn't get the lead in the musical. I wasn't like soloed out in choir. So I just quit the choir. I didn't know what my voice, where I fit, what my sound was. And in finding that sound, I really found it when I moved to New York. Like that's what solidified it for me. And my family's in Jersey, so coming home essentially and kind of seeing like the way my parents grew up, you know, when they came over and lived in New York for 30, 40 years, and what their life was like and their friends, and the culture out here is completely different from
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I felt like, oh my God, like I belong here. This is my vibe. The, you know, no sleep, team no sleep. Like that's all we do.
Literally.
Like this is me. I have so much energy. I can do this all night. I can do whatever the hell I want. Like I just love it out here. And to be surrounded by people from all over the world. There are hundreds of languages spoken on this, you know, out here. So it was just dope to be surrounded by so much culture, so much energy. I just felt super alive and like I was just awakened essentially. So that's
amazing. And another thing is that here, you know, with this melting pot we have here, it's like so many creatives. So many people you can definitely connect with, like musically, you know, just everything. I mean, you still gotta be careful because you know you got some that are not always having your best interests, but you know, so that's amazing, and we love that, and this always to have that good energy to always want to be able to network and meet other people, and that's the one thing that I personally love about New York as well. So oh my gosh. So now this is the thing, like you're a singer, you're a songwriter, so I watched I saw your unplug, and it was amazing because it got to give us, you know, a little bit more of you. And you know, one thing, if anybody know me about music, you know, I love the purity and the realness of, you know, just hearing you know, about someone's journey. So I want you to just kind of, you know, talk about, because I know one thing you kind of touched upon, like, you know, like your personal life on, you know, just, you know, with certain things you were going through, hurt, pain, issues. Now, you're an amazing songwriter. Do you feel once you get into a different space of, you know, relationships or anything like that, will you feel that would change your writing, or, you know, or just give it a little bit more oomph to...
Yeah, so I have found, well, I'm currently in a relationship. So
in a relationship.
That's been, you know, that's kind of new. I feel like for a long time I had a lot of like things and, you know, flings and like questionable, you know, relationships that were or were on and off, or like I thought it was one thing and he thought it was another. Like
this wasn't on the same page.
Club.
Yeah. So, first time in a long time I am something really honest and really solid, and with a lot of communication and like constant effort from both parties to like make things work. So this is like a new thing for me. I'm like adapting to this, but it's really dope. And I think how it's affected my songwriting is I've been able to recognize, you know, as I go back through a lot of the music, you know, I've written like 100, 300 songs. Like there's a good like 40, 50 songs right now that I could like flip to in my notebook and be like, okay, these are like 50 to 80% done or more, you know? And the parts that aren't done, I always wonder like, oh, like, why, you know, oh, I can't figure it out, or like what do I need to say here? And I found that I haven't lived it, or I haven't experienced it yet. So sometimes the story goes full circle, and the only thing that you have to wait for is just life to happen. So I don't necessarily believe in writer's block. I think it's just life experience. So if you feel like your songs are kind of at a halfway point and you can't figure it out, then obviously there's something that you need to learn, because the point of a song is to send a message, you know? So I've been able to like take a step back and be like, okay, maybe I was like totally overacting in that situation, and maybe I should acknowledge that in the song, you know? Like, another was like, damn, like, homeboy really did me dirty. Like, can I blame myself for this? No. Like, and so being able to look at things objectively, not just in the moment, because in the moment is when I write, and it'll come off like super angry or super sad. But yeah, I think that's where I've grown the most as a songwriter this last year, is actually like taking a step back, like living life and like just diving in, and then going back and being like, oh, well, now I know, now we've gone full circle, or like something else happened and like the plot thickens, like there's more to say.
That's amazing. Like, you, when I say like it's like you really hit something, like my heart just went like spirit fingers, you know? So spirit fingers. But that's amazing. And you know, and a lot of times, like if you listen to songwriters, you know, I've done Esther Dean and, you know, so many people, Alicia Keys, all of, like, they'll talk about, you know, songs that they had sitting for years that became some of their best hits and, you know, best sounds, because of the fact that exactly what you're saying, the point that you're saying, like there's something missing that you probably just haven't experienced yet. And that's amazing that you definitely said that and expressed that, because I feel like, first of all, I love your writing, and I can, that's one thing about me, I listen to the lyrics, and
yeah, it's all about the words for me.
Yes, no, it is.
So just to hear the experience, the growth, and the levels in the writing is amazing. So, I think that it can just only proceed to get bigger and better, and even more spectacular. So,
I wanna go back a little bit. Like, I know you were saying before, like it took you like a little bit to like kind of, I guess, get like more comfortable with singing. You said like you felt like you couldn't sing before. So for those who maybe like struggle and feel like, okay, maybe my voice isn't this way, or maybe I just like they're not confident about it. How did you come over that hurdle?
Honestly, I just had this like fire inside of me that knew I had something to offer the industry, that I had something to offer the world, that I was going to change the world. And I was like, I know I don't suck. You know, like I'm sitting there like looking at my songs, like I know this is good. And just trying to take the steps. I think where you can get rid of that insecurity of like, am I really that good? Or like, should I really go for the gold here? Is practice, rehearse, and like you start kind of like, you got to just try. So voice lessons, like that, game changer. Like once I got training, my confidence got so much better, because I knew how to like work the body, and like singing is like a full body exercise. And if you're tired, like if you're singing so much that you're tired, then it means you're not doing it right. And I had no freaking idea.
Wow.
You know, so then you're like, oh, how can people go on tour, you know, and sing without wearing out their vocal cords? Yeah, it's because there's like a technique, and it's really hard. It's really hard to figure it out. Like I'm still figuring it out. Coaching, you know, that gives you confidence, and just trying. Like the more you sing in front of people, the more comfortable you get. Like I still get nervous. I always get nervous, but I brag about myself now that I'm kind of like, okay, I've been doing this professionally for 2 years. Like, it's fine. Like, I know what I'm doing. I felt that was.
And sometimes you gotta have like that pep talk with yourself. Like, all right,
like this. Like, look, ain't nobody else here to pump me up, so I'm gonna pump myself up right now. Got this. All right.
And then surround yourself with people who also believe in you. Like when I would, I would hang out with a friend, and I'd be like, hey, let me show you this new song, and my homegirl's like, this is amazing. Like, that's a smash. And when you get that kind of, almost like a little bit of validation, because I've had different people be like, okay, this song's okay. But I'll be like, yeah, whatever. But
you're a hater. You don't know what you're talking about.
But you just want to still go for it. And if it feels right to you, you got to do what you like. There's so many perfect singers out there. There's so many, you know, songs that are like literally perfect and they have so many people on them. But if you have a song that you write and it's from the heart and you believe in it, then just make it, you know? And that's what I do. Like, everyone tried to tell me, keep your songs at this length and do this and do that. And I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to do me. And I'm sure people who fuck with me will listen.
Exactly. Exactly. You should have it.
You know, there's billions of people in the world, you know, to say that there's not, you know, several million people who would listen to my stuff, like, that's all you need, you know? Not everyone's going to be your best friend. So
That's
not everyone's your biggest fan.
And sometimes
So, yeah.
you gotta learn that the hard way too. Like, you know, unexpected. That's what makes you even better.
Yeah.
You know. So speaking of vocal coach, I know definitely you just stressed about, you know, getting a vocal coach. So obviously you explained some of the benefits. So what would you recommend for artists or those who are starting to say, hey, I don't got that to be getting a vocal coach? Like, what techniques can you, like, basically say, hey, this is what you can do until you get to the point, you grow to the point to say, hey, I can do a vocal coach?
I mean, YouTube is like everybody's private tutor right now. So, like, YouTube, you know, techniques and vocal warm-ups, and there's so many things you do with the body before you even sing in order to get warmed up, you know? So I highly recommend that. And then there's different coaches, you know, of all levels, of all price ranges. But my biggest thing is invest in yourself. And if you think you can sing or you think you can kind of sing and you don't really know, like, just go take a class. go to one coaching session and just be like, hey, like, I think I could sing and I really like doing it. And, you know, and sometimes you need a professional opinion. That is another element of that validation. So I'm just grateful that, and I was depressed and I was sad, you know, that I wasn't doing music. Every job that I had, I was unhappy with myself, or, you know, just wanted to be home and wanted to write and sing. And when I finally was like, screw this, I'm just going to do it. And I'm just going to stumble and fall, but keep getting up until I figure out how it gets done. You know, that's how you learn. That's how you grow. And the best way to learn is like yourself.
I love
So,
it.
you know,
I love it.
Go for it.
I definitely love it. I love the positivity. I love the fact that at the end of the day, like, when you, because you're not always going to have positive days. Let's just be real. No. It's not always going to be positive. And
no, not at all.
Exactly. Lollipops and all that stuff. And the one thing that I love, because I know I keep talking about your unplug. It was just, like I said, it was so real just to kind of see that behind the scenes, that realness from your perspective, from, you know, in your eyes and what you do every single day. Like, your best friend left a message, and that was so amazing, and it's so lifting, because, you know, it's like your team is so important. You know,
like, who you have
that's my homie for sure. And that's what he would do, like, all the time. That's what we do for each other. You know, we pump each other up on a regular basis. Hey, kill it today. He knew I was going to be filming the vlog all day. He's like, you're going to crush it. And, like, it's genuine. It's authentic. And we do that for each other. And that's the beauty about having people that love you, care about you, surrounding yourself with good people who lift you up, who don't complain, you know?
So true.
It's so important, and it's so fun. And yeah, oh my God, I love that you watch that.
I'm sorry, Dan. If I ask one before I switch over to you. So one other question. So one thing I definitely, what I love about this is because we get so many unique artists that comes in, that sit down and talk with us. So, you know, like I said, with you, you have you know, the Latin sound, your pop, and you have a lot of emotion in your lyrics. What sets you apart from, you know, other artists? So we have like Demi Lovato and Selena Gomez and what is it, Camille Cabello. Yes. And all these pop sensations who I feel the ones that I named have in-depth, like, lyrics and things of nature that kind of gives me a little bit of a similarity. So what sets you apart?
I'd say what sets me apart is, like, I'm just me. Like, there's nobody like me. There's nobody like Demi. There's nobody like Camilla. There's nobody like Taylor Swift. Icon.
Right.
She inspired me to, like, write and be vulnerable. And I think for me, it's like, I share my stories. My life has been really crazy, and the songs that are out, you know, are just the tip of the iceberg. But I do sing in Spanish as well, and English and Spanish, and just telling my story. I keep it real as possible, like before crossing that line of oversharing. I think I do a little bit in my music, but I think that's dope because I hate this whole facade of perfection, status quo, like white picket fence, like all these things that are like people's ideal
cookie cutter
of you and holding people to certain standards, like Modern Family. You know, I think it's super important. I think that's why the Kardashians are so successful, because their life is absolutely insane. Well, we're not the only ones.
Yeah. Right.
We're not.
You know? So
exactly.
I keep it real. I like to sing live. I have a new EP coming out.
Yeah.
And
we're going to talk about this music. Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
And I love production. Don't get me wrong. I love production. But I think what sets me apart is that with every song that I have a produced version, like Yellow Sweater, Sail Away, even Brooklyn, I'm always going to have a live acoustic version of that song as well. Like, I never want anyone to be able, I don't want anyone to say Sasha Prendes can't sing, because I can't.
You gonna get these vocals.
Hide behind, you know, auto-tune or any of that. I want to keep it real. And in some songs, like, you need the bass and all the crazy sound, especially if it's like an EDM song. You're like, yeah, and you just need it. But then you also, like, I don't know, the song has other meaning too. So from a lyrical perspective, I want to give it to you guys live and unplugged.
I love it.
Got you. So you call yourself the Heartbreak Extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. Like, why? What makes you an extraordinaire in heartbreak?
I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of it, and I've broken a lot of hearts too. Like, I am at fault. I'm not gonna sit here and act like
she's the heartbreaker.
Oh, we're gonna get the female version. Okay.
I know what time it is.
I love it.
I'm not gonna make anything up. Like, it goes both ways. Let's just.
Okay. So now let's get into this music. Yeah. Okay. So you have quite a few singles. You know, definitely Brooklyn, which I love, and I feel like it's even more. I feel like you're kind of talking. I feel like you're talking like about two things. Like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because this is my interpretation. Okay. You know, the love for the city and the town, and just for everything. Because you dropped a lot of spots in there as well in between. Yeah. And then on top of that, you know, of course, you know, the guy got a little swag because Brooklyn got swag, and you know, you know, and I love, like, just the like all of the interpretations and what you give. So first off, the visual, amazing. Talk about, like, your creative process and coming up with the treatment and working all from production, everything of that nature.
So that was really fun. So again, going with my whole MO of keeping it real and authentic to the story, I wanted my songs to be like verbatim what happened. In doing that, we didn't need to do like a huge production. I only needed a couple of actors, you know, some extras, which I used my friends, like my manager's in there. At the time, I was dating the actor who played the main guy in Brooklyn, you know. So I just, you know, utilized my circle. Yeah. Of course,
that's what you gotta do.
Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, we want to be in it. And I'm like, sweet. So that was really fun. Super fun. Yeah, no, but I typed it out. I always type an outline of it. And then because they're not such big productions, you can do them for a decent amount of money, you know, and you can have good quality and you can tell your story. And like, yeah, I'm going to have videos where we're going to have like dancers and pyro, and it's going to be really cool.
Shooting lights and everything.
But this, you know, Percocets and Brooklyn, you know, were two stories, you know, that were kind of the beginning of my journey of moving to New York. And I really wanted to show those off, and I could do it within my means and from where I was at the time as an independent artist. And I felt like it was a good introduction to like, who is Sasha Prendes and like, what's this girl's vibe, you know? And it's like, yeah. So it was fun. The treatment, everything. I kind of directed it, and then my video team, my friend Nice, he's super talented. Him and his guys, they were super easy and fun to work with. So yeah, just getting a good team together, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's all about.
Good. You got your?
I just want to know, when is this EP coming out? When is it coming out? I just want to know.
So it was supposed to come out on my birthday, October 3rd. But that did not happen. A lot of crazy things in my life happened the last few months. There was a lot of death. My family dog actually just died yesterday, which is like bad. So losses, you know, 2020 could get any worse. Let's just hope that that's the end of it.
Oh my gosh.
But it was really difficult for me. And then on top of that, some members of my team, like my producer had a baby. My other guy was on the other side of the world and had a bunch of stuff going on there. So I felt like, you know what, let's not rush this process, because the album is done. Right now it's just in the mixing and mastering. So, you know, that takes some time going back and forth. Of course. All remote. So it's not like I get to be in the studio there.
Be like, nope, change this, nope, do this, work on this, put that note up here and put this up. Okay. Yeah, understandable, definitely. And we're excited to hear it and to get it. You know, and maybe that's the best to, you know, to have it, because obviously, you know, you put all this work and effort and into your music, into your sound, and, you know, you definitely don't want to drop something that's definitely rushed. And definitely, if you felt like if it's going to be rushed, like, definitely go with your gut.
Okay, so it's going to be mixed and mastered. It'll be done, you know, within the next few weeks. I have a few more songs left. And then I did a music video for each song. So,
a visual album.
5, yeah, it is kind of a visual album. Oh my God, I didn't even yeah, like lemonade on y'all, but it's 5 songs, but it's cool. It's like really just me. There's no other actors. It's me singing the song, but like there's something super symbolic about where I am, and like the colors and kind of everything that we chose to do. We filmed a lot of it in my house, and it just felt like the videos didn't need to be extravagant, because the music speaks for itself, you know, having it like live, stripped down version of the song. So yeah, you're gonna
listen. There's nothing wrong with simplicity. Sometimes that's like the best thing. Like, and especially like one thing is like I'm just be honest. Like you said, the music speaks for itself. Yeah, I definitely believe like everything that I've heard from you, it definitely stands out. I can visualize it. Like just from your lyrics, I can just visualize it. So I think definitely like being simple and just putting something out, and especially, and on top of that, I mean, we had a pandemic. We're still in the pandemic, and it gives like the most purest and the most realest form of what everybody's experiencing. You know,
it felt like the right move, especially with the pandemic, you know, to keep it real, to keep it stripped back. It's, you know, I have a bunch of collaborations that are going to be coming out over the next several months as well. And those are very unique and different, and are styles that I've never really done before, but they work and we're having a blast. Like that kind of stuff is going to be different. But as far as like organic Sasha Prendes, it's going to be beautiful, all live instruments. Like
wonderful. I love a good live instrument.
You just went like vibe with it. So I'm so excited. I feel like y'all are gonna.
We are excited for you. Definitely.
I just want to go into a little bit. Like, I know we were talking about like the pandemic and everything, and honestly, this year it's been a lot. Not even just for me, but I know for everybody. And I watched your blog, how you were speaking about like your whole experience, how you like going through the pandemic, how you had COVID, and just like you're not able to see your family. And it just like, it's something that's just so relatable, because just like we're literally all going through the same exact thing. And just even like just how real and like raw you were, and just like emotional, it almost made me cry. I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally what I was going through. But it's just like crazy to like look back on it, and just like we literally were all going through that same exact thing. But like, how are you doing now? Like, how is your family doing as far as like the pandemic?
Like March was completely and totally terrifying. So I'm so glad that it's not like as scary as it was before. It's still a threat. It's still super serious. We all got to be safe and like wash our hands and stuff. Like it seems, you know, simple And it should be.
It should be. You would think, like, and just wearing a mask, like, you know, like.
I love the mask though. I'm not gonna lie. Like forever now, it's gonna be acceptable to wear a mask anywhere you go. So there might be days where like you just don't feel like anyone should see you.
Yes.
Or
yeah.
Or
there's
you
like
know,
days like I'm on the phone
whatever.
and I'm like laughing and I'm like, oh my god, you people think I'm crazy. Like I'm just laughing to myself, but like you can't really see with the mask, you know.
Or like when you go to smile at people and you're like squinting your eyes. They're like, I'm like, this
all the time.
Smile.
All the time.
Good. My family's doing good. You know, a bunch of us had ultimately gotten COVID different times, but I'm so grateful to have been able to see them several times, you know, late summer, early fall. And yeah, I mean, I'm doing a lot better. I have hope. I've moved everything for 2021, and I'm just grateful for this time, grateful for the changes, grateful for everything that I learned during this insanity, and all the music that came out of it, the love, the relationships. My friendships have been challenged. Like me and my friends are closer than ever because we've had, you know, like there's not a whole lot going on. People aren't really traveling. Like you're spending a lot of time together. My best friend and I were quarantined the whole time.
Yes.
And it was just getting drunk, playing beer pong, you know, like crying, watching movies, going having deep conversations, like really like getting down to like who we are at our core. I feel like I just went real deep with it this year, and I'm sad for the people who have been like seriously affected by this, people who've passed away, you know, families. Those are people that are hurting, but I'm grateful for the lessons and the opportunities that have come throughout this time, and just stay focused on the future, you know, like onward and upward.
That's amazing. Yes. So I know he's been trying and, you know, definitely moving forward. So the one thing that I really wanted to kind of like focus on is with all the hats that you wear in your day-to-day movement and really pursuing this full time and just really executing it to the I mean the highest level you can possibly go. Talk about, as an artist, what would have to be your biggest sacrifice in order for you to pursue your music and to be where you are at this point?
Sacrifice. That's a really good question. I'd say my time. Although time doing music to me is not time wasted, but I guess that's not the same thing as sacrifice, you know, like time is all we really have. And the fact that like I spend a majority of my time focused on my music and checking emails and on calls and trying to plan and create and do different things with my team, you know, I don't get to spend as much time with like my family, some friends. And I'm grateful that my boyfriend is in the industry, so we get to do a lot of this stuff together. And that's kind of been an issue in the past for me as well. It's like if you aren't involved in my day-to-day, because as an independent artist, or as anyone who's an entrepreneur trying to create something on their own, like it's not a 9 to 5, it's a 24/7. So wanting out, like you have to like fit your way into my schedule, you know, and it's kind of selfish, but at the same time, like that's the sacrifice I have to make. Like I don't have time to Netflix and chill. Like
I got writing and singing. That's what
it's exercise, it's skincare, it's networking, it's going out. Like I have to go out. And it's not just to go out and get wasted, it's to go out and make new friends and meet new people. And I meet some of the coolest people when I'm out, and that's what's led to collaborations and all types of cool people who've become a part of, you know, my circle. So and the industry is a nighttime industry. If you're a daytime person,
talk about it.
We're probably not going to see each other very often, but that's okay. That doesn't change. You know, real friends, it shouldn't matter. But I would definitely say time, you know, time with people I love and care about. But I firmly believe we sacrifice our time to work really hard on a goal and on something that we love and that we're passionate about. And then we get to share all of that with the people we love, you know? It's about balance too. But
amazing. Yes.
That's so true. So true.
Yeah.
About just my last question. I just wanted to ask, I know that you recently had a performance. How did that feel? Like just getting out there again in the midst of like being in a pandemic and just performing. Like how did that feel? How was that? Talk about that a little bit.
It was awesome. And that was actually what I was referencing earlier when I was kind of like, yeah, you know, now like I've been doing this for 2 years. Like that's literally myself right before I got on the mic. And I was like, oh, it's fine, Sasha. You've been doing this for a long time. This is no, you know, the headliner, I was the last one to go. And I'm just so happy. Like people were cheering and yelling, and people who had no idea that they were even showing up to a performance, they're there to have dinner or at a party, whatever, and people were like bobbing their head and like and we're like moving around. Like it made me feel so good, and to be up there again felt fantastic, and I can't wait for all the upcoming performances and happening next year, and just opportunities to sing, even if they're like small, intimate, even if they're live streamed, you know, just like getting back out there. But yeah, it feels good.
Oh, I just came with a little idea. Speaking of live stream, you should do like a live stream for like your EP that you have coming out.
Yeah, like a little album release party, live stream.
Yes. Just a little idea.
Just a little something. Well, once again, Sasha, we thank you so much for definitely tuning in with us and really just getting personable with us and having this intimate conversation and talking about your amazing music and your songwriting and all the above. I mean, you're just a talent. I mean, just a pure talent, and we just thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys, for real.
You're welcome. And my last question that, you know, like I said, this is always my favorite question, anybody that watched Indie Talks. So, you know, we heard your story. We heard, you know, the ups, the downs, the ins and outs. And so for all the artists that watch our Indie Talks, whether they're watching it now or they're going to come back to it, we always have our guests provide some words of encouragement in regards to other artists who's looking to pursue or who might be in a position that you once was in and say, hey, you know what, I don't think I can't do this right now. What words of encouragement would you be able to offer to
just
these artists?
Just try. Like, you don't unless you try. And it takes, like, the law of sales is like 23 no's to get 1 yes. The no's you hear, or the more like you're not a very good singer that you hear, the closer it's going to get you to that yes, you know. And like, you can feel it if you deep down inside feel that anything you want to do, at least just try, because if you don't try, you'll never know. And maybe it's a redirection. You try and it's not a failure. It just helps you gain that clarity that you've clearly been asking for to redirect you to where you want to go and where you're supposed to be. You know, so I just encourage people to just try and just put yourself out there and be vulnerable and be yourself, because there is nobody like you. There's only one you, and you just can't listen or care about what other people think. And I struggle with that on a daily basis. I care way too much about what people think, and that's something that I am working on daily. And I'm just going to be me. So I'm just going to do it anyway. So just do you.
I love it. Love it. What better way to end on that note? Guys, listen, you heard it. You heard it right here. Okay? So be you. Do you. Okay?
Yeah. Fuck everyone and everything. Just go.
You know what I just thought about? I just thought about Beyonce. Like, F you. You're cool. F you. I'm out. Okay. Okay, we're huge like Beyonce fans over here. So beehive. But Sasha, I can't even express how wonderful and just so thankful I am we are to definitely have spoken with you and for you to express these words. Guys, so please let everybody know where to find you. Like, if you got your friend or somebody in there that put your handles, all that stuff, let us know before you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Sasha Prendes on YouTube. If you type in on Google Sasha Brooklyn music video, I come up. So that's
or even just the name, because I Googled you.
Yeah, I Googled you too. You come up. It comes up as singer.
Awesome. Oh yeah, it does, right? It comes
yes,
Yeah.
it comes
You
up.
put your first and last name, it just comes up and it has like music artist. Everything.
Listen, you came at the top of the list there.
Yes.
But that's really cool. So yes, just Google me. No, I'm just kidding.
Google me, baby.
Sasha Prendes, Brooklyn is kind of like my lead single. I have a song out called Yellow Sweater.
I love that song, by the way. That is my
So that's been streaming kind of high lately. I've been really happy about that. So y'all stream Yellow Sweater by Sasha Prendes. Follow me on Instagram. And yeah, keep in touch. New music about to drop.
Yes, we're excited. Well, Sasha, thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. We are so excited for you, and we wish you all the best in your journey.
Yes.
And have a good evening.
Yes.
Ladies, good night. Bye.
Good night. She's amazing.
Yes.
Oh man, I love it. Energy, spirit,